Coach, Chris Penn with CHGO. You came from just playing in a different generation of ball to now, where the announcement came out about charter flights. There's been players already discussing what they want to have changed in the next CBA. You're not in that union necessarily, but can you talk about what you would like or would have liked to see for the players with your history coming through college, coming through the WNBA in its early days to now?
Well, I have to be very careful with that conversation. I would love to answer that for you. I have to be very careful with that conversation. So I'll just say this. I like to see the growth. The growth has been absolutely amazing. And it's only going to be better. It's only going to get better. We have the right young women assembled in this league, a great deal of talent in this league, and I think everyone knows the direction that this league will go. So I'm not going to move any further in that conversation. I hope everyone understands and respect that. Thank you.
Hi, Coach. Connor Olson,
Hi, Connor.
Northwestern University. Kind of building off the first question, how does empowering players and empowering a team help them unlock their full potential and play to their best? And then building off of that, in what ways do you think the Sky are going to surprise people on the court this season?
There's a level of confidence that goes in that. I think when you say empowering others, I believe that the empowerment is already there. It's about pulling it out. How do I pull it out? I wouldn't say that I empower anyone. It's just my job to pull that out and pulling it out with them understanding there's a great deal of confidence that you have to play with. And that's where I stand as a head coach, is pulling out that empowerment for them to carry themselves in a life of confidence, believing in themselves, knowing who they are, and going and getting the job done. It's big. It's a big piece that you have to have as a head coach to do that.
Robbie and Dominic. Hi, Teresa. The average free throw percentage in the WNBA has been higher than the average free throw percentage in the NBA
You're okay. Don't worry about it.
for the past 14 seasons. So I was just curious to get your thoughts on that, just your initial reaction and why you think that might be the case.
I'm not big on comparing, going from one side to the other. I had an opportunity to coach both sides. It's all about reps. If you want to talk about the game, talk about percentages, it's all about your reps. No matter what you do, it's all about your reps. And one thing I know that we do here in Chicago with the Chicago Sky is we're all about our reps. But in that rep is how you're conducting yourself in the rep. What is your mindset? If you miss one, what's your approach? What is your approach? So everything is all about your mindset on if you miss one, what do we do with the next one? But the reps is so important to try to get that percentage back up.
Hey, Coach, Dominic Faria.
Hi, Dominic.
Good to meet you. I wanted to ask about Kennedy specifically.
Yes.
I know you came in, last fall. How long was she on your radar before you ended up, signing her to that contract in February? And was it anything to do with that 51-point game that she put up in November?
I've been knowing Kennedy since she was at Texas A&M. Played for Gary Blair, who was a coach of mine at Louisiana Tech. So I've been knowing her a very, very long time. A talented young lady, very, very talented. And when I recognized that she was no longer in the league, she was playing overseas, I wanted to make sure to pull her in, to reel her in, to see where she is with her gift, because she's gifted, she's talented. And she knows the one thing about me, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. I think every one of us in here know what life is and how life can crumble sometimes, but who's going to give a hand to lift someone? And Kennedy, when I tell you all, she's an amazing young lady, experienced a lot, and has grown from a lot. And all she wants to do is play this game of basketball. All she wants to do is share her gift with everybody that's watching. And she's gifted, and we're pretty lucky to have her here on this team the way that she's playing.
Hi, Coach. I'm Jasmine Thomas.
Where you at, Jasmine?
I'm right here.
Hi.
How did you know that you could trust Angel Reese to go to the Met Gala and still perform at yesterday's game?
Great question. How did I know I could trust Angel Reese? Angel does angelic stuff. So I knew that she understands how to prioritize. She knows how to take great care of herself. She gave us everything that she had in practice. She got out and left, did what she had to do. She got back that night and then practiced and shoot around with great amount of energy. probably the loudest one in shoot around. She knows how to prioritize, and that's a key word for who she is. And I think a lot of times with who she is, who Camilla is, and how they've handled themselves with this stardom, no one pays attention to that. No one pays attention to how a 21, 22-year-old young lady has handled themselves, especially in the media, and the things that might have been said, the things that have been done, things that were just spoken about you that probably weren't as true as it should have been, or is unbelievably false. How they've handled themselves, and it makes a tremendous difference of how you handle yourself in these situations. So when you see someone that young handle themselves in that way, you know what you have. You know what you have, and she knows how to prioritize, and she knew what was important. She earned that. She earned that opportunity to go, and me as her head coach was not going to take that away from her. But she knew what was expected of her the moment she arrived back.
We'll do Kyle, Steven, Mike Hughes, and Mike Berman.
Teresa, for Dana, this is a huge opportunity for her. Her starting last night, and just having the opportunity to play more than she has in prior seasons. What have you liked from her through camp, and as a former point guard, what have you seen from her in terms of her growth and her game as a leader?
Dana can do whatever Dana wants to do on that floor. But the one thing she understands is as a playmaker, she has to facilitate first, conduct the show first, and then inject yourself. And as you saw last night, she was incredible, absolutely incredible. She was unpredictable. And when you're an unpredictable athlete, it's very difficult to defend. A great leader, she's learning how to be an incredible leader, how to lead the team, knowing who to go to, when to. And that's a huge part of being in that point guard position. We trust Dana. Everyone trusts Dana. We're excited about where she is. And I will say this about Dana, that I've learned a lot about her is how strong she really is. Because from day one, getting here, I know she shared it, but I'll share it, is she was going through some things. And to come back and be in camp with us, it says a lot about who she is and where she wanted to be.
Hey Coach, Steven with CHGO Sports, how you doing today?
I'm awesome. How about you?
Great.
Awesome.
I remember our first conversation after your introductory. You talked about your time with the Liberty at the inception of the league. How you said you spent time in each borough to become one with the city and the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you plan on doing the same here with Chicago. I'm curious, where are you with that, and kind of what are a few words that you feel are synonymous with the city that your team can exude?
Well, I did something all by myself, getting out into the city, and I decided to take me a little boat tour. And I actually did it the wrong time. It's pretty cool. Did it the wrong time, but I got an opportunity to get out and to hear about the city. I got to hear about, for some people, it might not mean anything, but these things mean something to me. Just about hearing about the buildings, it meant a lot to me. In one building, these two buildings, I can quite remember exactly what, but I'm gonna remember this. But instead of, it was by 60 years apart of the building, 60 years apart of these two buildings. And as this other building was built 60 years later, instead of what we would say was disrespectful to that building, you really changed it. It was a compliment to the building. And that's what we want to do, is there's a great deal of history here, a great deal of sports history here. All we want to do is compliment that. We don't want to compete against it. We want to compliment that. And that's what I learned on my boat ride, is just that building, those two buildings, 60 years apart, didn't compete against one another to get a little movement or to get a little space. They complemented one another. And that was big. When I saw that, I said, this is excellent for me today. That was one lesson that I've learned already, is how this city was complementing instead of competing. And we don't want to do that with history. We want to complement it. We want everybody to begin to speak about it again, be able to speak about it again with us being spoken about in it as well.
Hey Coach, appreciate the time. Everybody today from top to bottom has talked about what the culture is here and how you've established it so quickly. And I know Diamond got a little emotional talking about the prayer circle that you had with your staff with her when you first met her, a little bit after you just met her, all the way from Angel, saying the impact you've had and how familiar it is to Mulkey. Who were those people for you that have kind of taught you how to build a culture like this and allowed you to be a leader amongst men and women?
This comes from home. This comes from my mom, my dad. I'm the baby of 6. I learned a lot from our upbringing. I'm not ashamed to share my life. Came from humble beginnings. And prayer is what we knew. Prayer is what got us through. And that's what I share. I'm obedient. I'm obedient to what I'm told to do. And with these young ladies, when they're going through, I know it has helped me. And I want to do what I must do to help them. And I get emotional when it comes to them because they mean a lot to me. You know, and our young people go through a lot. But how do we help? How do we help? And that's the most important thing to me. And I will protect each one of them in every way I possibly can because they deserve it. And they're young, they're growing. Mistakes are going to be made. We all did it. But how do we help? How do we help? That's the most important thing to me.
Hey, Weatherspoon. Mike Berman from NBC5. Good to see you. For you and Angel and Camilla stepping in together to the organization, how would you describe the opportunity that you guys have to kind of write your own story with the Sky and hopefully take them from where they are now to a place you want to go?
You just said it best. We want to write our own story. You just said it the best that you could possibly say, and we just want to write our own story. We have two incredible young women they've come from great programs. They're champions, they're winners. They know what it takes, and they know what it looks like, and they know how to carry themselves. You know, greatness looks different. Greatness speaks different. And we always speak about this. If you want to be good, this is the wrong team to be on because a lot of people are on that path. But if you're on the path to greatness, you won't find very many. But hopefully you find us. And with those two, you'll find them.
Chris. Hey, Coach. Earlier when we were talking to Kennedy, she talked about this stage of her career. She's better mentally now and going through the chapters of her life. And there's a few players on this roster too that have gone through a lot to get here. And when it comes to just aiding that mental side of it in a league that's really unforgiving with roster spots and how difficult it is to be here, how as a coach do you aid that mental side of the game?
Well, I pay attention to that. I pay close attention to that. And like I said earlier, you know, there's no judgment here with me. None at all. I think many people that goes through life go through some things, and sometimes there's not a second chance given. I don't even see this second chance given. I'm just giving the opportunity for you to do what you need to do to live the life you want to live, and that's my approach to everything. Just make sure that you're living the life that you want to live with the opportunity given. And Kennedy is grasping this thing, you all, and she's running with it. She's running with it. She has a great group of young women who she's surrounded with, who loves her. We all love her. We just want to see the best. We want to see the best for every one of them on the team. Everyone on the team want to see the best for them. This is their dream. This is their dream. This is their dream. So we got to take them there. We got to let them live it. We got to let them live it, let them see it, let them feel it.
Got a few questions.
Hey, Coach. Camilla and Angel were maybe the more talked about draft picks of the Sky, but what kind of impact can Bruna Maxwell make if she makes the roster?
You all, that is one of the most competitive players you will ever meet. Her injury, she played through it. She played through the injury because she wanted to make this team. She's strong-willed. The first thing she said to all of us is, nobody here will outwork me. No one here will outwork me. She has that mentality. She has an incredible gun. We call it a gun. She can shoot it. She can shoot lights out. She's a sharpshooter. What she does for us when she steps on the floor is she stretches the floor for us. It makes it difficult for teams to have to leave her. You can't leave her. Matter of fact, you can't. I don't think many teams will. She brings that to us being able to stretch the floor, being able to shoot the ball from behind the arc, which that's the way the game is anyway, where the game is played. But she's a sharpshooter. She's very consistent behind the line.
Hi, Teresa. I'm Noah.
Noah.
How does having a brand new roster here in Chicago either make it easier or harder for you to establish the culture that you want for this team?
It makes it a little easier because everyone's new. Everyone's looking to find out what is that culture, what is our identity. And so it makes it a little bit easier to put it out there. And the one thing they do know is that when we all speak about what our culture is, when you look at our young ladies, that is the culture. That is the culture. It's the heartbeat. They are the heartbeat of what this culture looks like. So when you hear them talk, when you hear them speak, you hear the culture. That's the culture. I am one lucky coach to be able to coach a group of young women like them, very articulate, they handle themselves very well, and when they step between those four lines, they're going to compete. And that's all I can ask for.
Coach.
I appreciate every one of you all being here.
Thank you.